Leadership. We've been doing it wrong for decades. Recent studies show that 67% of employees are actively disengaged at work. And surprisingly, it might be because their bosses are trying too hard to be heroes.
That's such a counterintuitive finding. How does being an engaged leader lead to disengaged employees?
Well, here's the fascinating part. There's this groundbreaking research showing that overactive leadership actually stifles team development. The data suggests that bosses who constantly intervene reduce team productivity by up to 30%.
Hmm. So it's like helicopter parenting, but in the workplace?
Exactly. And you know what's really interesting? The most successful companies are now training their leaders to do what they call strategic inaction, basically teaching bosses when not to act. There's this brilliant quote from a Fortune 500 CEO: "Don't just do something, stand there."
That must be really challenging for traditional managers who've built their careers on being action oriented.
Oh, for sure. And here's where it gets really interesting. Studies show that 82% of managers believe they're providing strong leadership, but only 13% of employees agree. There's this huge perception gap.
Those numbers are wild. So, what's causing this massive disconnect?
Well, it comes down to what the research calls performative leadership. You know, those bosses who think they need to be Steve Jobs, but end up more like Michael Scott from The Office. The data shows that this kind of leadership style actually increases employee turnover by 40%.
That reminds me of all those cringeworthy motivational posters and company culture slogans.
Right. And here's what's fascinating. Research shows that millennials and Gen Z are particularly resistant to this kind of leadership. They're 75% more likely to disengage when faced with traditional command and control management styles.
So, what does the modern workforce actually want from their leaders?
The research points to three key factors: autonomy, purpose, and growth opportunities. Companies that focus on these elements see a 31% increase in employee satisfaction and a 22% boost in productivity.
Those numbers make so much sense when you think about how work has evolved, especially since the pandemic.
Absolutely right. And here's another surprising stat. Organizations with leaders who practice strategic restraint see 25% higher innovation rates. It's because when bosses step back, teams step up.
You know, that really challenges everything we've been taught about. Leadership being about taking charge and driving results.
And the data backs this up. Companies with hands-off leadership approaches report 40% fewer workplace conflicts and 35% better employee retention rates. It's about creating what researchers call psychological safety.
So it's almost like these leaders are working to make themselves unnecessary, which seems terrifying for most managers.
That's exactly it. And get this, the most successful leaders spend 70% of their time on strategic thinking and only 30% on operational tasks. It's a complete reversal of the traditional leadership model.
That must require an enormous amount of trust in their teams.
Well, here's what's fascinating about that. Studies show that teams with high trust environments are 76% more engaged and 50% more productive. It's this virtuous cycle where trust creates success, which creates more trust.
That's really changed how I think about effective leadership. It's not about being the hero anymore.
No, it's about being what researchers call an environmental architect, someone who creates the conditions for others to succeed, and the impact is measurable. Companies with this leadership style see an average 27% increase in bottom line results.
Those are the kind of numbers that should make every executive sit up and take notice.
And that brings us back to where we started. Sometimes the best thing a leader can do is nothing. The research shows that teams with minimal management interference solve problems 42% faster and develop more innovative solutions.
That's such a powerful lesson for anyone in or aspiring to leadership positions.
Indeed. And as we wrap up, here's the most compelling statistic. Companies that embrace this new leadership model are 2.5 times more likely to be industry leaders in their space. Sometimes less really is more.